Pete Delatorre, founder and creator of the Pete Delatorre Show, and welcome to part 2 of session 5 of BlockChain Talk. My co-host, as always, will be Sean OBrien-Brehm, founder and chairman of CrowdPoint Technologies. If you were with us yesterday, you heard some amazing personal stories on their experiences from their use of the blockchain. These are folks from around the world and the US, and the same thing will happen today in part 2. We will hear from 4 more individuals that will share amazing personal experiences that will just, it's going to make you think about what you might be missing on if you're not part of the blockchain. Of course, this program is brought to you by BlockChain Ecosystems, powered by CrowdPoint Technologies. So let's sit back and listen to part 2 of session 5. Okay, now we're going to take 4 more exciting guests to be with us in part 3 of session 5. Not to confuse anybody here, this, of course, is BlockChain Talk. And I'm with my co-host, Sean OBrien-Brehm. We have 4 terrific people with us. Sheila, is that Pena, right?
Pena. Yeah.
Pena, right. Hunter Garithers. Is that the way you pronounce it? Did I say it right?
Carithers.
Carithers, almost there. Sylvia Cromwell and Valinda Wood. Welcome to BlockChain Talk, and thank you so much for taking your time to be part of this exciting journey that we're all part of right now. So, Sean, I'm going to turn it over to you, buddy.
No, thanks very much. We've already had 2 sessions. I think you're going to find a lot of energy in this group. We were just talking when we all met the last time. We spent Linda said an hour and 45 minutes just talking. So what I think you're going to get out of this group is a little bit different perspective than the first 2, but because they are all non-fungible, they're unique. They're that's what makes them unique. And I'm looking forward to just kind of letting the world kind of hear their story about why they think decentralized identification is so important and why that drove them to become part of the CrowdPoint family.
Terrific. So let's start with Sheila and give us a little bit about your story and what's got you so excited.
Well, I've been a bookkeeper most of my adult life, so I'm not really used to the camera. So if it's okay with you guys, I will read my story. That's all right?
Sure.
So mostly spent all that time, 40 plus years as a bookkeeper, and never loved it. Wasn't lucrative, not a great job for me. But since I had no formal degree to pursue another career, I felt so stuck there. And then, like I said, I stayed over 40 years. Never had that courage to really leave and try something different. So then the universe stepped in and took care of that. I had about 6.5 years ago, there was a catastrophic medical event that I had, and it put me in a coma and left me unable to walk and in a wheelchair. And so that was pretty life-changing. And after coming out of the coma and spending like months in rehab and physical therapy, I got back up on my feet, literally, and made pretty much a full recovery. So it was then that I knew that God left me here for a reason, a definite purpose. And I made a promise to myself then that I wouldn't stop figuring that out and what that is. And I knew it definitely wasn't what I was doing before. I had tried other business ventures and nothing really worked out. And then divinely guided, a door opened up and I took a leap of faith and I stepped through it. And I had no idea how amazing the journey would be, and that the base of it was something I'd only heard of and never really learned much about, the blockchain. And so now with this new technology and the decentralized identity, I'm becoming a micropreneur. And now I have the chance to be on the same level playing field as the most successful entrepreneurs. Just never in my mind ever thought that was possible. So what I think is God made sure there was enough abundance for all of us, not just elites and the big business. But I think that was their plan. I think they've hidden that from us from a long time, but we have those rights. Those are our rights that God gave us. And this new blockchain ecosystem is going to enable us to reclaim our identities and no longer have our data stolen from us. And it's for their benefit, not ours. So whether it's taken and monetized by big tech, since data is the new oil, or whether it's taken from the dark web for nefarious reasons, which I've experienced, and they're pretty creepy purposes, but this decentralized identity is going to enable the blockchain ecosystem to put an end to that theft, and they can stop them in their tracks and give my identity back to its rightful owner, me. So that's really exciting to me. Help me share my purpose with the world and make a positive impact and help others to do the same. And I'm just really excited about that.
What a great story. What a great story. And it's Sean. Everyone that I'm having the opportunity to speak with shares that same passion in their own unique way, right? Which is what makes this a very lively conversation here. Hunter, what has been your experience in terms of starting the implementation process of the blockchain?
Oh, it's been fantastic. Obviously, it's such a big learning curve, but there's so much about it that excites me when you talk about the freedom aspect to people who need it most. I just saw this past weekend, actually, you were mentioning the Bitcoin conference, and my wife actually comes from El Salvador. So, the president of El Salvador mentioning that they're going to be using Bitcoin as a legal tender, helping out the citizens there who don't even have bank accounts. It's an incredible idea, incredible action that he's taking. And so these little things adding up one by one has been an incredible learning experience with all of these people in this community. And that's what I'm most excited about them. And I wanted to mention too that, I actually, I'm registered as a Sons of the American Revolutionary War. And what I mean by that is my grandfather passed away recently. He's a great man. His name's Ted Carruthers. He was in the Air Force during the Korean conflict. And he cared deeply about history, of course, and our family lineage. And so he took it upon himself to research and find the facts about and verify for himself, my father, my brother, and myself that we were descendants of a man named William Porter who fought in the American Revolutionary War. And it really made me think of all those men who fought in that war and that they were trying to hold on to their God-given freedom to create their own identity and to have a choice at the end of the day to not live the identity that was being forced upon them. And to connect it to today, I think about how those same men would be celebrating the opportunity that we have before us today. And so I really want to just stand in celebration with them because we're on the brink of another shift in our society. And we can really use this amazing, innovative technology that is the blockchain to create these decentralized IDs to free ourselves from who our oppressors are today. And I know my grandfather, may he rest in peace, if he was here and understood this idea and this technology, would be smiling ear to ear. So I'm thankful to be able to stand here today and smile for him today.
That what a beautiful story. I'm just thinking when I'm hearing you, Hunter. We had Greg Fitzgerald a couple weeks ago, and he talked about the bad guys, right? Well, the bad guys are not liking what they're hearing here.
Yes, absolutely. They're scared and they're wondering what they need to do, and they're trying to figure it out under closed curtains, but it's all going to be revealed eventually.
The crowd is coming on strong like a tsunami, right? That's what's going on here.
Yes, sir.
Sean, any comments?
I'm welling back to tears, to be honest with you. I don't know if I'm gonna make it to the other two. The story, from coming back from a coma, to such passion, the mantle of leadership is always hard, but when you've got the sheer quality that we've got in this team, it's just, I've always got to, I was sitting here praying while we were talking, Lord, just give me the strength to lead and go in the right direction. And then, Hunter, that tie back, Pete knows this because I'll get on my discussions deep about how I believe this is the blockchain has a chance for us to redefine markets back to 1789 when we ratified the Constitution. So we can embody the 66%. When I look at the blockchain, it allows the Federalist Papers where they talked about tyranny of the minority and tyranny of the majority and how we can avoid that happening based on how and when we share our data. I mean, I don't know if I'm going to make it for the rest of this thing because it's just so overpowering what you guys are saying. I don't know about you, Pete, but it's mind-boggling.
I'm telling you, I think for me personally, and conversations, the many conversations you and I have had, and now with our special guest, it's every week. There's some new revelation coming all of this, and it reinforces the fact that now the regular person has a shot, a real legitimate shot to take back, get their power back and their uniqueness, and then at the same time be able to prosper in this world that we're living in right now. So I mean, I'm just humbled here, and it's like, Sean, I don't have a whole lot to say many times because all of you are really the stars here.
Yeah.
So Sylvia, a little bit about you and your experience.
Well, hello. Okay, so I'm Sylvia from the Bay Area, and my journey with CrowdPoint actually started because I'm a believer in my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, who has the servant leadership that was taught to the apostles and to his followers. And that's the principle that I live by. And Sean and Marlene at CrowdPoint, they have the servant leadership mentality. And what that really means is that we lead by example by first becoming servants to those around us. A good leader can't be a good leader before first being a good servant, right? So no one should be a slave to anyone else. And today, the digital identity slave trade is alive and well. So I believe that CrowdPoint is spearing this fight against this global marketplace of centralization. And when we're done decentralizing, we're going to have a more secure internet. It'll allow everyone the choice and opportunity to select how their digital identity is handled and by who. At CrowdPoint, you are the value in the digital world, so your identity will no longer be sold into the highest bidder. Here in the Bay Area, I lead the affidavit group. So we write affidavits and notice the complaints for people who are violating our rights, trying to enforce medical mandates unlawfully. So that's basically trespassing upon your personal property, your personal rights. And with what's going on in our digital world, it's a trespass of your digital identity that we have to take control of as individuals. Why do we have to turn that over to people that are monetizing on it, that are trading our digital identity out in the marketplace? That's not right. And as a small business owner, I totally appreciate the CrowdPoint exchange because we can't compete as small business owners. We wear a lot of hats when we run our own businesses, but the biggest advertising budget, the big guys are the ones that rule the internet. And that doesn't necessarily mean that they have the best services available. It just means that they have a bigger pocketbook than you, and they can overpower the internet. And now with this CrowdPoint, what makes it exciting is that we actually have an opportunity to present our services and our products and tell them how good we really are, not based on the size of our advertising dollars, but based on what we as individuals have to offer. And it's going to be huge because it's going to free up the small businesses to grow without these exorbitant advertising dollars. I mean, basically the choice is ours. We can sit idly on the sidelines watching our identity continue to be stolen, or we can join everybody, the crowd at CrowdPoint, and take control of our digital identity. So for me, it was a no-brainer. I'm in with, on this digital identity crisis. I realize it's a crisis, but CrowdPoint is the solution, and all of us are excited about this because this is going to free us up as consumers, as small business owners, and it's going to give the power back to the people. There's a lot going on out there. Everybody knows there's a battle between good and evil. There's no doubt about it. And the digital marketplace is where a lot of us spend our time. So this is something that's of utmost importance because we need to free our digital identity. And that's why I came on board with CrowdPoint.
Sylvia, you just sparked something in me when you were talking right now. I'm thinking, how dare anybody put a price tag or a value on us?
That's right.
We are unique, every single one of them. You can't put a price tag, and yet that's what's going on when our identity is splattered everywhere. They're
That's
deciding what our value is.
Yes, and they're monetizing on it.
Exactly.
They're stealing our identity without our consent. I do not consent. I want my identity for myself. And every single one of us, and I represent all of the distributors and resellers that are on this show and not on this show, that we're all on board on this. We don't want our identity just manipulated like that without our consent.
Strong words, strong. Sean.
Viva la revolución. I mean,
Amen, brother.
Okay, Belinda, last but certainly not least, I know you've been waiting there. You have a lot of good stuff to share with us.
Well, hello, and it's great to meet you and be here with everybody. I can identify with a lot of people with my life story. You know, so many of us have had broken roads or jagged paths, right? But God bless this broken road. And through that, through different situations in my life, I built a wrong mindset. I misidentified who I was through the traumas and the different things that I had experienced. And as I began to learn that, you know, that, well, there was two trees in the garden, one of good and evil, the knowledge of, and one of life. And that journey of learning to go to the tree of life, I'm realizing that I have value, the God-given intrinsic value that he gave me. And this journey is going to be for everybody that is learning about their identity, their value. We've been raised in this society that it was just lost. We didn't we just didn't know. We just went along with the way things were. And I am so excited about this. I sensed it in my spirit, and my husband and I both, and we knew that this was where we needed to be. You know, I've been in a part where I've been there for community. I was a firefighter paramedic for years, and, you know, thought I was just doing good and that my identity was my job. And on that journey, I realized my identity isn't that, it's who he made me to be. Mm-hmm. And why I joined CrowdPoint and why this was like the convergence and recognizing a destiny and the value and what is happening in CrowdPoint and the mission and the revolution is going to take a lot of re-education, just like I had to understand my value. And a lot of people, that bridge, there's going to be that path that we're going to have to help educate people. So it's exciting. We're learning. We're going to be able to help others learn because we've misidentified our value, and now we get to take it back. This is amazing to be on the tip of the spear of this. I know this is my destiny. I've always been there to help other people. And in very traumatic situations, I've seen, you know, people's worst days. But now what we have in front of us are people's better days. And I'm excited to be a part of that.
You know, we hear so much, and Belinda, that's, again, very, very powerful. We hear so much about reinventing ourselves or re-engineering ourselves. And I just wrote down re-understanding our value. Okay, because we've lost it. We're living in a day where we misunderstand so much about ourselves. But this is another, you know, intangible benefit through all of this. It's really re-understanding who we are, and we're not what everybody says we are. You know, we are absolutely unique here. So, Sean, anything in closing here? This has been phenomenal.
No, I mean, I guess in summary, as you look at all three groups within this session, you know, that everyone has kind of come to the same kind of mission statement, right? And that is, you know, our team is just here to be a humble servant and to provide a digital platform. That's what we are. We're just here to provide a digital platform. But our mission is to unite artificial intelligence and compaction and blockchain technologies to democratize all that big data that's out there in order to defend and deliver dividends or value to you. I mean, to people watching this, to the human identity. The human identity has been powering commerce since the beginning of time. And now more than ever, it is priceless, like silver. We talked about with Sheldon with the bullion weight of your identity being all that data that's out there, and the numismatic value being much more based upon where you're in your life. And I think that mission of delivering and democratizing people's data back to them so they can reclaim that identity is something that I didn't realize how powerful it was going to be until today. I just listened to these stories. I don't know about you, Pete.
You know me, I talk a lot. So to be somewhat speechless here, I think says it all. I don't think that really I have to say anything else. Thanks to the four of you, Sheila, Hunter, Sylvia, Belinda, for again taking time to share your passion, your uniqueness. I think your passion's great, but it's your uniqueness that's the most important part of all of this. And behalf of Sean, thank you so much for being part of session 5 of BlockChain Talk, a show that's just taking off like a rocket due to a big part to all of you that have been participating here. So thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you both.
Take care. Have a good one.
Thank you.
All right, everyone. If you were not impressed with those personal stories in part 2 today and yesterday in part 1, you're missing out, because it's just unbelievable, the evolution of this blockchain and what it is doing to impact everyone that's involved with it from all over the world, as you just heard in the last 2 programs. Again, BlockChain Talk comes to you every week on the Pete Delatorre Show, and we are seen on Facebook and also my YouTube channel, Pete Delatorre. My co-host, as always, is Sean OBrien-Brehm, and this program is brought to you by BlockChain Ecosystem and CrowdPoint Technologies. Stay with us every week as we do BlockChain Talk here on the Pete Delatorre Show. Thank you so much for being with us today. Have a great day and a great week. Take care.